the automated part gets turned off every hour on me, or every couple of hours. And so my diabetic educator says that you guys are manufacturing pods that don't have that anymore, or disabled, I don't know what you call it, but she's supposed to be getting me some of those that doesn't.
All right.
And so, it's not that, there's one issue with them, there's multiple issues with them, and there's always been an issue with them failing, and I go through on an average, about 40 pods a year that fail, okay? For whatever the reasons they fail. And so, you guys send them out, which is great, but when my doctor wants to know why I wasn't doing something, or why it's always in the restricted mode, when it's in the restricted mode, for whatever the reason is, I can't always go right back into the unrestricted, automated mode. And so, of course, what happens? You get busy with life and you forget to put it back into automated mode. But she doesn't seem to think that that's a problem. I should be able to remember to always go back into automated mode and don't worry about it kicking me out of restricted mode. Even though I tell her that that's what happens, I don't know why she doesn't believe me. But, she says that. Go ahead.
At this point, my only recommendation is that you're going to have to give us a call every time that you have any kind of a situation with the pods. Because we can pass all day discussing about what can happen, what could happen, and what happened in the past. But if we don't have the possibility to make a troubleshooting steps, and if we don't have the possibility to give you any directions right now for you to get this solved, we will be going running around in circles, right?
Well, that's why I don't call you on every time something like that happens, because I already know the situation. All right, up until the point that she says that they're coming out with new pods that have that part deactivated or not installed at all as part of the software, there was nothing I could do about it. I could just only deal with it. And the best that I could deal with it is turn it on when I remember to turn it on. And, the minimum is 5 minutes before you can turn it back on, just as the minimum. Let alone that if one of the parameters that it shut it off for isn't reset or hasn't cleared or whatever, then I can't turn it on even after 5 minutes until whatever it is. It doesn't say exactly what I'm waiting for. It's got 3 items that are talked about that is the reason why it goes into that situation. Well, I've had it where my blood sugar was 140. Okay? Well, it stayed 140 most of the day. Why did it kick me out if the right amount of insulin is going, even if it is at the maximum amount, because that's what it talks about, that nothing changes after running at the maximum amount. I get that, but as long as my numbers stay good, that's great. But then it kicks me out, then it's not automated anymore, and until it leaves that 140 area, then and that's the case when it goes up. And so, but by the time it goes up, an hour later or whatever, again, I forget about turning it back on because, it's not like it's falling and giving you a warning that you're falling. So obviously it says, hey, you need to do something. But if it's just slowly climbing because it's not delivering insulin the way it's supposed to keep me at an even level, it just goes up and goes up and goes up. And then once it reaches the level that I have for a high rate, then it will tell me, and then I go, oh shoot, I forgot to turn it back on. But I tried to tell my doctor that, and they don't believe it. At least that's her indication.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
I said, that's her indication, is that she doesn't believe me. I don't know what she believes or what she doesn't believe. All I know is that she complained that it's 90% of the time that it's in the restricted mode. Well, that's because I forget to turn it back on after he kicks me out. I can't help it. I'm human. I forget. I'm 63 years old. I'm not young like I used to. I don't remember everything that I used to be able to remember. So
yeah, this is based on what I heard already, this is more related with the automatic delivery restriction.
Right.
Which is when the system has been working to bring your glucose into range, but it has not seen your glucose change the way it expected, and it actually needs to be taken by the customer, which basically is that it's either or that you're trending to going low, and you need to take a look on the app and see if there's any actions that you need to take by yourself, or that on the opposite way that it's trending to going high, that you need to take any action.
Well, I do it when it does both of those, but there's lots of times it just stayed at 140 for a long time. So that's why I said, if it was giving me the maximum amount and it kept me at the 140, I can see that it triggers it because it was giving me the maximum amount. Okay, I get that part. But I was in the 140 and I'm going, why did it shut me off? I'm at 140. Why would it do that? That was the biggest thing that boggles my mind. My blood sugar is good. Why did it shut me off?
Totally. Yeah, so at this point, as I said, we will going to have to, give us a call whenever this is happening, all right? And we can take actions on that, okay?
Well, it's just like I called the other day. I got to speak to you guys just enough to give my name and maybe verify who I was. And then I got disconnected. And every time I called back, it was a long wait. And so it's like, well, I can't just always stay here on the phone. I got stuff I have to do. I had doctor's appointments I had to do, so I had to go to my doctor's appointments. Not on Sunday in that case when you guys called, but I didn't know that you were going to call on Sunday, so I wasn't prepared for it. But I did try to call right afterwards, but I couldn't get through. So I don't know. That's what makes it hard when you don't know somebody's calling, because there was no request for someone to call, definitely. But even when there is a request for someone to call, they never call at the time that you have the request. And so you're waiting for the phone and they don't call. And then an hour later you give up on waiting, and 2 hours after that they call. That's a bad example, but it's happened similar to that situation.
Totally understandable.